I don't really want this to become a soul versus soulless debate, but maybe you'll take that away from it. That's not the intent, but we're talking about trees. Like, what are trees, and how do I build some? Well, first of all, let's talk really briefly about the common Lego tree. You got two sizes. You got small, you got large. There are dozens of variations of trees available from Lego. These ones are very nice, and I like them a lot. If you're just making a little quick forest, just drop them on some plates, and they look really good. I prefer to keep all my, well, I don't know what you call them, leaves? Spines? I like to keep them all facing the same direction. Ideally, I would say that should be your light source, because that's how trees work in the human, real people world. But, I mean, you don't have to do that. This isn't the real human people world. It's up to you. But I like the nice uniform kind of shape that you'll get from a big plate filled with trees when they're all facing relatively the same angle. Something like that. It's a nice effect. You get a lot of depth in there with little trees in the back and some big trees and little trees up front. Real nice looking thing. But I know what you're saying. You're like, but does that have soul? Oh, geez, is that a question? Because these are classic trees. They've been making these for decades at this point, and they're still in sets. But do they have value as other than trees? Maybe, maybe not. It's hard to say. So I'm not going to actually take these apart and show you how I built them, but if you can't figure it out, I'm sorry. Maybe hit subscribe and you'll learn something, you bad Lego person. Here's a simple tree. If I was going to build a tree out of bricks, this is one that I might build, because I did build it. Now, I hear you saying, what are the features? What are the advantages of this tree? Well, this tree could be taken apart and built into a different tree tomorrow. That is kind of an advantage. But I hear you saying, how do I build such a tree? Well, first of all, I use square. You can use round if you want to. Trees with round bricks for the trunk, sure. Trees are round, but like round's not an inherently Lego thing all the time. I also then put 4 bricks up because a minifigure is about 4 bricks tall. So you don't want your minifigures hitting their head on the trees as they walk under them. You could go 5, and then theoretically you have enough room for like armor and helmets and stuff, probably. But just 4 bricks is real nice. It's a good size next to a minifigure. It feels nice. Let me bring out just a little classic boy here, Deadman for scale. He's got a helmet on, but look at that scale of that tree. That's about nice. It just feels good. And that's really, want to know the secret to building? Build what feels good. That's a big secret. So I got another tree here. This one's a lighter shades. Perhaps a different season, perhaps a different type of tree. A little bit taller on the top, 2 bricks taller, in fact, but 4 here. And then I used, I believe that is, sand yellow for the base. And if I turned on like bright lights and like got it in there, yeah, there it is. This one is brick yellow, but it's a little dead tree. And I think that's a nice effect too. Not all trees have leaves. I'm in Florida, so I don't have seasons, but this is what I imagine seasons could look like maybe. Put some leaves on the ground and be done with it. But all these ones are 1 or 2 colors. But what if I want just a mix of some colors? Yeah, do it. Just make an organic blob. This one's only got 3 bricks tall for its trunk, but I think that's very reasonable too. You kind of space them out. Here's the dead tree in the back, and you got yourself a reasonable looking little forest. And I got the good glare from these Halloween lights, but I guess we can turn the full lighting on and it kind of disappears. But yeah, it looks fine. Here's a minifigure again for scale. I think that looks like a fun classic little scene. Colorful, blocky, looks nice. Does he look bad in this scene? Oops, his helmet came off. He's got a little pith helmet. Yep, there it is. Does he look bad in this scene? Does he have less amount of soul because he's been surrounded by a molded single-use piece? Probably not. I think it looks very reasonable. I think both are good options. The thing that I'm getting at, and again, you can take away whatever you want from this video, is that maybe this has a little bit more value tomorrow if you take it apart. I'm not going to lie to you and say I'm the best at taking my builds apart and using them for other things. I also built a palm tree. I don't know if I've shown this one off. It's using a slightly less classic piece. It's round. I did want it to go up a little higher, but it looks nice, I think. Put some of these bendy pieces. I don't know what you call that thing. I'd say it's a 2 brick tall, probably 2 brick long by 1 brick. So 1 by 2 by 2, probably a random plate number because of the way that indent is. Arch piece. It's hard to say, but it's in green. And just experiment around with your colors. You don't have to adhere to anyone's rules, even mine. Build some trees. I think it's nice to be able to just kind of take a step back and make something that feels like you would see it in an old Lego catalog, even though you probably aren't going to see that in the Lego catalog. Whereas this, you could definitely see in a Lego catalog, and I think it feels equally as good in certain situations. I don't know, there's not really pine forest near me, so I'm not nostalgic for triangle-shaped trees, I guess. That could just be me. Anyways, comment some stuff about trees. Which kind of trees would you prefer in your town? I'm probably going with brick-built trees. Why? To save these trees for out of town, for in the forest, so I can have the molded trees easily amassable and make quick little backgrounds for photography and such. That doesn't mean that I might not use one in my town, but if you're not subscribed for some reason, do that. There's an automatic video over here. Yeah, that's a video that subscribe video I picked for you. They're already going to be on screen by the time I did this, because I'm not going to mess with the timing enough, am I?